Ladies, let me tell you something that will change the way you interact with the men in your life, and frankly, the world around you. If you want to build meaningful relationships, both romantic and otherwise, you need to understand the power of how you communicate. First and foremost, high-value women know their worth. It's not about arrogance. It's not about thinking you're better than anyone else. It's about understanding that you are enough, just as you are. You're not waiting for someone to tell you that you matter. You already know you do. And because you know your worth, you speak from a place of confidence. You don't need anyone's approval, especially not a man's, to validate your existence. When you speak, your voice is powerful, not because you demand attention, but because you know what you're saying matters. Now, let's talk about boundaries. A high-value woman communicates her boundaries clearly, and she does so without hesitation. You don't wait until you're uncomfortable to set them. You lay them down from the start, gently but firmly, knowing that your time, your space, and your energy are precious. And if someone crosses those lines, you don't shrink back. You stand tall, unwavering in your commitment to protect yourself, your peace, and your growth. You don't engage in drama. You don't play games. You know that respect is the foundation of any strong connection. That means your communication is always respectful. Whether you're sharing something deeply personal or discussing a disagreement, you speak with kindness, even when it's hard, because you understand that your words can build or break, empower or undermine. You choose wisely, but perhaps most importantly, you are authentic. There is no mask, no pretenses. You show up as your true self, flaws and all. High-value women don't hide their emotions, but they don't let them dictate the conversation either. They are real, raw, and unapologetically themselves. They speak their truths, even when it's uncomfortable, because they trust that authenticity will attract the right people into their lives. What makes a high-value woman so magnetic is her emotional intelligence. She doesn't react to every emotion that bubbles up inside her. She processes them. She takes a moment to understand what she's feeling and why before responding. That's why when she speaks, she connects deeply, because she listens, both to herself and to others. There's no shouting, no emotional outburst, just clear, empathetic, and effective communication that fosters deeper connection. This sort of communication, this sort of commotion that fosters deeper connection. Finally, high-value women are empowered. They are independent and self-sufficient. They know they don't need a man to complete them. They are already complete. They have their own passions, their own dreams, their own ambitions. They don't compromise their dreams for anyone, and they expect a partner who will support their growth, not hinder it. When they speak to men, they do so as equals, partners, collaborators, not as someone looking for rescue. So ladies, when you speak to men, speak from a place of power, authenticity, respect, and emotional intelligence. Speak from a place of knowing you deserve the best, and that what you bring to the table is not just valuable, but irreplaceable. And let that be the energy you carry, because the world will meet you where you stand. High-value women understand the concept of self-worth on a deep, almost intuitive level. This understanding shapes how they navigate relationships and, more importantly, how they communicate. Self-worth is not just a buzzword for them. It is the foundation upon which everything else is built. It's about being unapologetic about who they are, recognizing their value without seeking external validation, and knowing that they deserve respect, love, and success simply because they exist. When you truly know your worth, your voice becomes more than just a means of communication. It transforms into a powerful tool that commands attention, not because you're demanding it, but because it's grounded in certainty. A high-value woman speaks from a place of confidence that resonates in every word. Her words carry weight because they are a reflection of someone who understands that their existence holds immense value. She doesn't feel the need to seek approval, nor does she bend over backwards trying to prove herself. There's no room for self-doubt because her inner strength propels her forward. This kind of confidence is magnetic. It draws people in not through arrogance but through authenticity. People are naturally attracted to individuals who carry themselves with certainty. It's contagious. When you speak with the knowledge that what you have to say is important, others begin to listen with genuine interest. And the way you carry yourself speaks volumes about your self-worth. The way you present yourself in a conversation, how you maintain eye contact, the tone of your voice, it all reinforces your inner strength. You don't need to shout to be heard. Your presence alone commands respect. Moreover, knowing your worth means you are clear about your boundaries. A high-value woman won't tolerate disrespect or mistreatment. She knows that her time, energy, and emotions are precious, and because she values herself, she demands that others do the same. She isn't afraid to walk away from situations or people who don't align with her values, or who fail to recognize her worth. This doesn't make her cold or distant, it makes her wise and self-respecting. She understands that in order to thrive, she must protect her peace and never compromise on her values. A woman who knows her worth isn't afraid of being vulnerable, but she is selective about who she lets into her inner world. She doesn't seek out people who only serve to fill the gaps in her life. She brings her full, complete self to every interaction, knowing that any relationship, whether personal or professional, should be built on mutual respect and understanding. Her confidence is rooted in the understanding that she has something unique to offer, and anyone who is lucky enough to share in her life will do so because they genuinely value her for who she is, not just what she can give. High-value women set boundaries, not because they are rigid or unapproachable, but because they understand the importance of preserving their energy and emotional well-being. The boundaries they establish are an act of self-respect, an essential practice for maintaining their peace and authenticity. These women know that their time, attention, and emotional investment are precious commodities. They refuse to allow anyone or anything to deplete them unnecessarily. Setting boundaries is about recognizing their value and acting accordingly in all aspects of life, whether in friendships, romantic relationships, or professional settings. When a high-value woman sets a boundary, it's not done out of anger or frustration, but from a place of clarity and self-assurance. She communicates what she needs, what she can offer, and what she expects from others without hesitation. It's not about being controlling, rather it's about ensuring that her relationships are balanced and healthy. When people respect her boundaries, it creates a foundation of trust and mutual respect. She knows that by setting clear limits, she invites others to engage with her in a way that fosters positive, meaningful connections. But if someone disrespects her boundaries, she won't tolerate it. She doesn't second-guess herself or wonder if she's being too rigid. She knows that her worth is non-negotiable and her peace is sacred. The beauty of a high-value woman's boundaries is that they're flexible in a way that doesn't compromise her core values. She's not so closed off that she misses out on opportunities for growth, connection, or change. Instead, her boundaries are a guiding framework that keeps her grounded, ensuring that she doesn't lose herself in the process of navigating the world around her. She can adapt to new situations, but she never sacrifices the principles that define who she is. Whether it's saying no to something that doesn't align with her needs, or stepping back from a situation that feels draining, she is always in control of where her energy goes. By maintaining boundaries, a high-value woman also teaches those around her how to treat her. Her behavior sets the standard for how she expects to be treated, and she does this without guilt or apology. She doesn't wait for others to define her worth or her limits. She sets them herself. This self-assurance creates an aura of respect that others instinctively understand and adhere to. In doing so, she fosters healthy, nurturing relationships where her worth is recognized and her peace remains intact. High-value women understand that communication is the cornerstone of any successful relationship, and the way they communicate reflects their sense of self and their respect for others. They engage in conversations with men in a manner that is not only respectful but also empowering, creating an environment where both parties feel heard, understood, and valued. Their communication style is never about dominating the conversation or trying to win arguments, but rather about fostering connection, empathy, and trust. They don't play games or create drama for the sake of attention. Instead, they approach every interaction with the goal of building something real and meaningful. One of the key aspects of a high-value woman's communication is that it is rooted in clarity and honesty. She doesn't hide behind mixed signals or cryptic messages. When something is important to her, she speaks up about it, but she does so with the intention of being clear, not combative. Her honesty is refreshing because it's devoid of ulterior motives or hidden agendas. She doesn't manipulate situations with passive-aggressive behavior or indirect comments. Instead, she expresses herself directly and respectfully, ensuring that her feelings, needs, and expectations are communicated without ambiguity. At the same time, high-value women understand the power of listening. They don't just wait for their turn to speak, they truly listen to what others have to say, especially when it comes to understanding the emotions and perspectives of those around them. When a man speaks, she gives him her full attention, making him feel valued and heard. This mutual respect and understanding create a safe space for both individuals to open up. Allowing the relationship to grow organically, they recognize that effective communication isn't just about what is said, but how it is said and how it is received. In every interaction, they prioritize the other person's feelings while still ensuring their own needs are met. Additionally, high-value women avoid unnecessary conflicts or drama in their conversations. They know that life is too short to engage in petty arguments or manipulations. When issues arise, they approach them with a calm and level-headed demeanor, ensuring that the conversation stays respectful and solution-oriented. They're not afraid to stand their ground when necessary, but they do so with grace and maturity. In a world where many are quick to raise their voices, a high-value woman's ability to maintain composure and approach conversations with kindness and respect makes her presence both magnetic and commanding. High-value women are unapologetically authentic. They don't feel the need to wear a mask or play a role to fit in, impress others, or gain approval. They understand that true connection can only happen when they present themselves as they are, without pretense or the pressure of conforming to anyone's expectations. This authenticity is reflected in every interaction, whether it's a casual conversation or a more intimate exchange. There's no artifice, no games, just pure, unfiltered honesty. When they speak, they do so from the heart, expressing their true feelings, desires, and perspectives, even if it makes them vulnerable. Being authentic isn't just about being open and honest with others. It's about being comfortable in one's own skin. A high-value woman knows who she is, what she stands for, and what she will or won't tolerate. She doesn't change herself to please others, nor does she hide parts of herself out of fear of judgment. She embraces both her strengths and flaws, knowing that both contribute to the person she has become. This level of self-awareness allows her to engage with others in a way that's both grounded and empowering. She isn't afraid to share her opinions, even if they go against the grain, because she trusts that being true to herself is far more important than fitting into a mold. This authenticity also extends to the way high-value women build their relationships. They aren't looking to create connections based on surface-level attraction or convenience. Instead, they seek out genuine bonds with those who accept them for who they truly are. When a high-value woman enters into a relationship, whether it's romantic or platonic, she brings her full self to the table. She isn't afraid to show her imperfections because she knows that real intimacy can only flourish when both people are able to be vulnerable and open with each other. She doesn't settle for relationships that require her to hide parts of herself or pretend to be something she's not. By embracing her authenticity, a high-value woman also sets the tone for the relationships she cultivates. She attracts people who value her for the person she is, not for the version of herself she presents to the world. This makes her relationships stronger, as they are based on real connection and mutual respect, not on playing roles or pretending. Authenticity becomes her superpower, drawing in those who appreciate her for her true essence and allowing her to thrive in relationships that nurture her growth and well-being. High-value women possess a remarkable emotional intelligence that shapes the way they interact with others. This emotional intelligence goes beyond merely understanding one's own feelings. It encompasses the ability to navigate the complexities of human emotions with grace, empathy, and insight. A woman with high emotional intelligence knows how to manage her emotions in a healthy way, and she's deeply aware of how her emotions affect her interactions with others. She doesn't allow her feelings to dictate her actions impulsively. Instead, she takes the time to process them, reflecting before reacting. This self-awareness enables her to approach situations with a level-headedness that's often rare and deeply magnetic. One of the hallmarks of emotional intelligence is the ability to empathize with others. A high-value woman has a natural ability to tune into the emotions of those around her, to understand where they're coming from, and to respond in a way that acknowledges and respects their feelings. Whether in a personal conversation or a professional setting, she doesn't just listen to the words being spoken, she listens to the emotions beneath them. This deep empathy allows her to build meaningful connections because people feel truly seen and heard when they're around her. She knows how to comfort, uplift, or challenge others in a way that is always rooted in understanding and compassion. Furthermore, a high-value woman knows how to handle conflict with emotional maturity. Instead of reacting with anger or frustration, she approaches disagreements with a calm demeanor, seeking to understand rather than to be understood. She knows that conflict is inevitable in any relationship, but it doesn't have to be destructive. Instead, she uses it as an opportunity to strengthen her connections, focusing on finding common ground and resolving issues in a way that honors both her own needs and those of the other person. She doesn't shy away from difficult conversations, but handles them with an openness that allows for growth and resolution. Her emotional intelligence also allows her to set boundaries more effectively. Because she is in tune with her emotions and knows what she needs, she can communicate her limits clearly and with confidence, ensuring that her personal space and peace of mind are never compromised. At the same time, her empathy allows her to be considerate of others' feelings, making her communication not just firm but also compassionate. It's this combination of emotional awareness, empathy, and maturity that makes high-value women approach their lives with a sense of empowerment and independence that sets them apart from the crowd. They are self-sufficient and have cultivated their own sense of identity and purpose. This independence is not about isolation or shutting others out. Rather, it's about standing strong in who they are and ensuring that they are whole and complete on their own before seeking anything from others. They don't rely on anyone to define them or to fulfill needs that they can meet for themselves. They understand that their value comes from within and that no external source can complete them. This independence is incredibly magnetic because it radiates strength, confidence, and self-assurance. When a woman is truly empowered, she makes decisions based on her values and her goals. She doesn't let others pressure her into choices that go against her principles, nor does she settle for less than she deserves. She is clear about what she wants in life, whether it's a career, a relationship, or personal growth, and she actively works towards those goals without waiting for permission or validation. Empowerment for her means taking control of her own destiny and moving forward with purpose, knowing that she has the power to shape her life according to her own desires and needs. This level of independence also allows high-value women to foster relationships based on mutual respect and equality. They don't look for someone to complete them because they already feel whole. They seek partners who are also strong, self-assured, and independent, knowing that a relationship should be a union of two individuals who can support each other's growth without becoming dependent on one another. The idea of a partnership based on two complete individuals coming together rather than one person relying on the other is a defining characteristic of high-value women. They want to build a connection based on shared goals, respect, and the freedom to grow together. Empowerment also means that high-value women are not afraid to walk away from situations that don't serve them. They are comfortable letting go of toxic relationships, unfulfilling careers, or environments that don't align with their values. They are not afraid to be alone because they know that solitude is not a weakness, but a space for personal growth and self-reflection. This sense of inner strength is what allows them to move through life with grace and confidence, knowing that they don't need anyone to validate their worth. Their independence and empowerment create a powerful aura that attracts the right people and opportunities into their lives. The essence of a high-value woman lies in her unwavering self-awareness, confidence, and authenticity. She knows her worth and speaks with a voice that commands respect, not out of demand, but from a deep understanding of her value. Her ability to set boundaries, communicate with respect and clarity, and embrace vulnerability while maintaining emotional intelligence sets the foundation for meaningful relationships. She fosters an environment where mutual respect thrives and authentic connections flourish. Empowered by her independence and emotional maturity, she attracts the right people, experiences, and opportunities into her life. The high-value woman doesn't need to chase approval or validation. She embodies the very qualities that naturally draw people toward her. As we reflect on these principles, let's remember that true value comes from within, and that when we live authentically, set healthy boundaries, and communicate with purpose, we not only elevate our lives, but also inspire others to do the same.